What is up, guys? Welcome to the Sports Scoop with Lucas Lee and
Cahill Hirji.
We talk about sports and anything that is cool about sports. Today, we will be talking about the top 5 players of all time in the NBA. So we will start with the current events. So recently, the Golden State Warriors lost by 52 to the Boston Celtics. Although it wasn't an upset, it was a big blowout, and many fans weren't expecting it.
Yeah, that was quite tough. Now we're going into the NHL. Micah Kiprusoff just got his jersey retired on Saturday. Quite an amazing moment for Micah Kiprusoff, arguably one of the best goaltenders in the league at that time. And also NHL trade deadline coming up in 4 days. We have our top 5 people that are supposed to get traded or looking to get traded. Noah Hanifin, Adam Henrique, Jake Gensel, Vladimir Tarasenko, and Jacob Markstrom looking to get traded or maybe even stay with their team, but it's not looking for a bright future, especially for the Flames, almost giving up their two of their most sensational players on the team at the time.
And then back to the NBA, LeBron James reaches 40,000 total career points, and the Celtics continue to pull ahead from the rest of the NBA Eastern Conference with a 48-12 record.
Yeah, so it'll be an interesting episode. At our number 1 slot, we have Michael Jordan, Magic Mike, one of the best players to ever live. Then at our number 2, we have arguably one of the best players of all time, LeBron James.
The King
James. Then you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, number 3, Mr. Skyhook. Then at number 4, we have the big man himself, Bill Russell. And at number 5, we have arguably the best point guard of all time, Magic Johnson. Now, we have a couple controversial things. Obviously, we did not say Kobe Bryant or Wilt Chamberlain, 2 of arguably the best players of all time as well, that did not make it on this top 5 list. We will be arguing why they should be on this list and for who we would trade them for. So we both agree that Michael Jordan should be at the number 1 slot. Nothing much to say. He's an icon on and off the court with his Nike Air Jordan brand that is just taken off. He's actually worth $3 billion. That's his net worth, $3 billion. Then we have LeBron James, also an icon on and off the court.
Yeah, recently with 40,000 points total in his whole career.
Yeah, big achievement for him. After seeing he passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he is just an amazing player with also a $1 billion net worth of his own. Then we had Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We also believe he should be in this list, especially at the number 3 slot. He was just a revolutionary player in the game. He created the skyhook, famous skyhook. He was an absolute icon, winning 6. He was a 6-time NBA champion, tied with Michael Jordan, and of course LeBron James only having 4, but still is one of the best players in today's age. Then at our 4th slot, we said we had Bill Russell, but we disagree with this one just a little bit, considering that we still have Kobe and Wilt Chamberlain still to go. And at number 5, we have Magic Johnson. So we also believe like he should be in the top 10, but maybe not at the 5 and 4 slot. This is why we want to maybe even sub in Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant. And today we'll take you guys through why we believe that this should be a swap.
Okay, so should Kobe be in the top 10 of the rankings? What do you think?
So we see Bill Russell, one of the best players of all time, obviously. He was just a revolutionary player, but at the same time, at that time, playing with the Celtics, what did he have? He had a super team himself, Larry Bird, an absolute shooter from behind the arc. And, it was a great team at that time and era as well. It was just an unstoppable force, and that's why he won 9 chips. During that time, obviously, it was I don't want to say easy era, but when you have the best players, arguably of all time on your team, it's pretty easy to win 9 chips. Whereas you see with Kobe Bryant, he played at a time when all of these players are still at large, and he was not afraid. He would take on Michael Jordan. He would take on some of the greatest. He would have taken on even LeBron James in his prime when he played for Miami. Yeah, Dirk also with that
his big man playing style and all that with Dallas.
Yeah, but he throughout all of that had
that Mamba mentality, and
he was just an absolute force out there. As it can be seen that Kobe only averaged 4.7 assists, which just shows he really did not need anyone. When he got drafted, obviously with Shaquille O'Neal, they were seen as maybe the ones to win the chips. And obviously he performed even with and without Shaq. And Shaq was seen as one of the best big men of all time, arguably. And he just stood in that paint and got those rebounds and created those plays. And the reason why we believe Shaq's not on this top 10 list is because there are so many better big men that didn't make it on this list, like Dikembe Mutombo and Hakeem Olajuwon, which, just an absolute force out there. But regardless of all of that, Kobe Bryant just absolutely amazing. He just plugged in. He, even on his last day, I'm so sorry, Kobe, we miss you so much, but even on his last day with 60 points, dropping 60 points, that's amazing. Considering that was his last game and he got that last 60 point with that free throw, and it was just amazing. So sad to see him go.
Okay, so let's look at the stats now. So Kobe Bryant, 25 career average points, 5.2 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 1.4 steals, and 0.5 blocks.
And then you had Bill Russell, who came in with 15.1 average points a game, 22.5 rebounds, which is quite amazing for a big man. But especially during that era, it was a lot easier because they all drived in the paint, they'd miss, and he'd get those rebounds, especially off the putbacks. And then he only averaged 4.3 assists, with steals and blocks not being recorded at that time.
Let's look at Magic Johnson's stats. So 19.5 points per game as an average, 7.2 rebounds, 11.2 assists, 1.9 steals, and 0.4 blocks.
And then we have Wilt Chamberlain, who averaged 30.1 points a game, 22.9 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and just like Bill Russell, steals and blocks were not recorded. So these two played at the almost exact same era, and they both dominated as big men in that era. But seeing as that they were the only big men that were life-changing for both teams at that time, it was quite easy for them to become sensational, as can be seen by Wilt's 100-point game.
So on Sportsnot, this similar ranking was shown. So Michael Jordan as 1, LeBron James as 2, Kareem as 4, Magic at 5, Wilt Chamberlain at 6, Larry Bird at 7, Shaquille O'Neal at 8, 9 was Tim Duncan, 10 was Hakeem. Now, Kobe Bryant did not make top 10, which we disagree with.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he made 12 behind Steph Curry. Obviously, Steph Curry being a great player. No down respect. What the hell did I say? But seeing as there were guys like Tim Duncan and Shaq before Kobe, that's a little disrespectful. And I think Kobe's done so much for the league, so much for his team that, I don't think it's fair to put him at 12.
Yeah. And with all those crazy stats, like 25 points, and his isolation scoring, there's no way he can be below 10. Yeah,
to add to that, Kobe Bryant's one of those players that, you come up on him, he's going to take you on one-on-one. Like, anytime you're one-on-one with Kobe and it's an iced-out situation, he's going to take you on one-on-one, especially with that fadeaway. He's got the pump fake first, which makes you go flying. Then even if you don't go flying, you still got an amazing flick and arc on that shot that it will almost always go in the back of the net.
Yeah,
and that's just quite amazing.
Other players were scared of him. Like, they did not want to play him.
And that's the other thing, his Mamba mentality. He was not scared of anybody. He didn't give respect to anybody. He was one of those players that got in the game, played their hardest, came out. He didn't want anything else to do with them. He was very determined, and that's what made him one of the best players of all time. Yeah, and even though he was at a time where there was a lot of injuries and, he was seen as he was a little overshadowed by Michael Jordan, to be honest. When he stepped on that court playing Michael Jordan, what happened? He absolutely locked down Michael Jordan. He was just like Michael Jordan. The same mentality, same athleticism, same ideas of what they want to do in the game. And, they both can take you to an iced out situation where they're not afraid of anyone. They don't give respect to any other players. And, that's one thing that we really admire. And we don't really see that very much in today's NBA.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We also had Wilt Chamberlain. Now, Wilt Chamberlain, he is one of those players that is just sensational. He's one of those big men at that time, though we all know that his 100-point game was false, or at least we believe it was false. Wilt Chamberlain was one of those big men that just was revolutionary for his team. When he played with Golden State and the Lakers, they needed him for rebounding, passing it off. He was a big help for James Worthy and Elgin Baylor and those guys for the Lakers. And, it was quite important for him to be on the team where he had both ideas of scoring and rebounding, which made him one of the best overall big men in the league, And his ability to post up against everyone,
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you for tuning into another episode of the Super Sports Scoop. And we want to know who your top 5 players of all time. And if you agree with us or disagree with us, just let us know. And thank you. And make sure to tune in to our next episode. Only episode number 3, but it'll be a great one.
That's it for the Sports Scoop.
Pop up.